Hey everybody, Backpacker Luke here, and today we're going to be talking about every single piece of gear that you might need to bring with you on your next backpacking trip. What we're not going to be going over today is what kind of food you're going to be bringing with you and also the clothing. I don't really consider that like gear as it is, so I actually have separate videos for clothing you might want to bring with you on the trail and what kind of food you might want to bring with you on the trail. So we'll leave those videos to do with their job, and we're going to talk about actual gear today. So just know that we're not going to go over the reason for bringing every single piece of gear because, for one thing, I have other videos for that. And second, if I went over every piece of gear and why you should bring that specific brand of gear or whatever it is, we would be here forever and this video would be super long. So I'm really just going to sort of shotgun through the video and the list. And if you want to have your own list, REI has an amazing list, which I will put a link in the description down below. And you can kind of go look at that and use that as your baseline and then build from there. But this is just to help you out as much as I can. The first piece of gear that you need to bring on your trip, and if you go on your trip somehow without knowing that you need to bring this piece of gear, good for you, because it means you've been carrying everything in your hands, is your backpacking pack. So just make sure you grab one that is good for you, that fits well, and that feels comfortable while you're on the trail. And make sure that it is sized and fitted correctly, which I also have a video for that. So you can go look at that video to make sure that you're sizing and fitting your pack to you correctly. But the first one is your backpack. You'll notice also as I'm going through this list, I sort of have everything categorized. So that's just, I have like my base gear or my top 3 or top 4, like the big 3 or 4 things that you always have to bring with you on the trail. So I'll go through those first, then I'll start kind of moving down the list to the miscellaneous items are going to be the last thing. The second item you need with you on the trail, no matter what, is some kind of sleeping bag or sleeping quilt. So this one is a down-filled quilt that I sewed myself, and it's a like 15-degree bag, meaning that it can keep you warm down to 15 degrees or so. So the next one is a sleeping bag or quilt, whatever you want. Number 3 and number 4 sort of go hand in hand because it is basically just your backpacking tent with also your sleeping pad. So sleeping, your tent, your pad, and your sleeping bag or quilt are all sort of lumped together as your sleep system, as what I end up calling it. And make sure that when you are looking to pack your tent, you also make sure that you remember that you don't just need to pack your tent. You also need to pack the tent stakes. You also need to pack the rain fly and the ground tarp or ground cover. And just make sure that all of that is packed at once. So I pack everything together in one within the tent bag itself. And sometimes I'll pull the stakes for the, not the stakes, the tent poles out of the bag and then pack them separately. But everything's basically contained with the tent here. The next one, and just know that you don't have to pack every single one of these items, but I'm just sort of giving you as much of a comprehensive list as I can. So the next item that you might be bringing with you is trekking poles. Some tents actually require trekking poles to be set up. So if you are bringing one of those types of tents, make sure that you have your trekking poles. Otherwise, it's really up to preference whether you use them or not. But yeah, trekking poles. The next item would be bear spray or some kind of deterrent for a bear. So sometimes you might consider this bear spray, which you should take with you if you are on any kind of trail or in the wilderness that might have bears or other aggressive animals. Bear spray doesn't only work on bears. Obviously, it's just like a really overpowered pepper spray. So you can use it to defend yourself from a lot of different things. But bring bear spray, and also I might as well just throw this in there. I didn't bring it with me, but also a bear canister to keep your food safe from bears if you're on a trail that actually sometimes they require them, and sometimes it's just a good idea to bring a canister with you if you're in an area that has a lot of bear activity. So bear spray and bear canister. The next one you're going to bring with you is going to be a map, some kind of navigation. So basically I always like to carry a paper map with me. I also always carry GPS with me, and that GPS also comes with a compass. So all my navigation sort of wrapped into one. So I have waterproofed this map. If you want to know the cheap and efficient and easy way to waterproof a map is you always just take the paper map, print it out on whatever sheet of paper you'd like to, then take just standard packing tape and then completely cover one side, flip it over, completely cover the other side, and then you cut around it so you get rid of the excess, and you've essentially laminated paper for the cost of packing tape. So what I always do is print out a map of the entire route. I mark the route on the map, and then I put my itinerary on the back. So you should have one of these with you, and then you should have one of these at your car, and or like have a friend have it or whatever it is, so that if you go missing, they know what your route and your itinerary is. Another thing that I will recommend as well is also an altimeter or something that helps you map your distance that you're traversing a little bit better. So I use my watch. It's a Garmin Fenix Pro something, I can't remember exactly right now, but it tracks my mileage really well. It tracks my activity really well, so I know where I am, know how far I've gone pretty much, I know my altitude, all that kind of stuff. So I would recommend a smartwatch. The next thing I'm going to recommend are 2 different pairs of shoes. So the first one are your hiking or backpacking shoes. I use, oh my gosh, I use Salomon Trail Runners as my backpacking shoes. And I actually have a video on what kind of footwear you can or should use on the trail. So you can go ahead and watch that if you'd like to. And also I have my camp shoes. So I just use simple Crocs. They are not the smallest item I could ever bring for me while backpacking, but they are quite light. And what I really like is that they are also able to be hiked in or walked in if I'm not going over crazy terrain. So if I have my shoes that have been just giving me really bad blisters, or I have really bad hot spots on my feet and I need to let them breathe, and I need to have something that I can just wear a little bit differently for a while, I can use Crocs, and they do a really good job where I'm able to still like cross water and walk around camp and also do a little bit of lightweight hiking with them and have no issues. They're also waterproof and really durable. The next thing on the list is your camp stove, your cook kit, whatever you want to call it. And also make sure that you're bringing fuel with you. Make sure that you're bringing everything that you need. So for instance, I'm using the Jetboil here as an example, and the Jetboil comes as a cup, which is what this whole thing is. And then also has canister fuel inside of it here, as well as the stove that's all packed in here. So mine is all a one-in-one contained system, but if you have just a standard sort of canister stove, like Bunsen burner as I call it, then make sure you're bringing your cup with you. Make sure you're bringing your fuel. Make sure you're bringing enough fuel, by the way, and then just everything you need for your cook system. Next, you're going to be going through for a water filter. So I'm using the Sawyer Miniworks water filter as an example here. So with your water filter, also just a good time to remind yourself to make sure you bring enough water bottles, not just water, but make sure you're bringing enough bottles to be able to hold enough water, if that makes any sense. So I always carry 2, probably close to 3 liters fill of water with me on every trip, unless I'm in like a very arid environment when I know I'm not going to be able to filter water as much. Then I bring more bottles with me. But what I'll usually do is I'll have 2 smart water bottles. I love them. They just do the job really well. And a smart water bottle is a liter each. So I have 2 smart water bottles, and I usually have a water bottle that's one of those ones that can roll up and it's very flexible. So I can kind of stuff that in my bag. I don't want to use it, but if I need another liter of water on hand and I use it in camp, that sort of thing, then I'll bring a 3rd liter bottle of water with me. So make sure you have your water filter and your bottles to be able to fill with water. The next one we're going to talk about is your med kit or your first aid kit, whatever it is. So I just have this this one that you can get. I got this one at REI, but it has a lot of different stuff in it. It has things that if stuff goes really bad, I have like stitches and splints in here, butterfly stitches, all that kind of stuff. It also has moleskin in it, which helps you keep hot spots away and help with blisters. And I'll also carry an extra amount of moleskin with me, or duct tape sometimes. And I'll take duct tape and wrap it around like a pencil or a pen that I just carry with me, because it's really good for patching gear and also for covering blisters if you have to, that sort of thing. But make sure you have a first aid kit with you and that it's fully equipped. Also, this first aid kit comes with some painkillers, but I always bring an extra bottle of painkiller with me because I just know that I'm going to need it. So let me be honest with you. The next item is a headlamp. So I use a headlamp. I guess you could use a flashlight or whatever, but to be honest, I don't know why you would when you can just put a headlamp on. And it's as simple as doing this, and then you're good to go. So always bring a headlamp with you. If it is not rechargeable, then make sure you bring batteries that fit it. So you don't want to run out of battery halfway through your trip. So just bring an extra change of batteries, like change the battery before you go out on the trail, and then have an extra change of batteries with you just in case something weird happens, because you don't want to just not have light during your trip on the trail. So some kind of headlamp or light. Now, this might be one of the most important things you bring on the trail, because if you don't have it, it really stinks. Toilet paper. I'm going to be honest with you. I made that stinks joke and I didn't even realize it was a pun until after I said it. So yeah, bring toilet paper with you. I always bring more than I need probably, but I really don't want to be in a situation where I'm running out of toilet paper on the trail and then I'm using poison ivy to finish up and I don't realize it, and then it gets really bad. So I always bring enough toilet paper for like 4 people, even though I am 1 person. So toilet paper, yeah. The next thing you're going to bring with you, and I could have mentioned this before with like a bear canister, bear spray, that kind of stuff, but some kind of hang bag, or basically just I have this paracord that I bring with me. It's like a bundle of, I think, 35 feet, something like that. So I can use this to dry out clothes in the evening if I really need to, or to hang a bear bag if I need to, or basically it's just really nice to have some rope around. So this is not that heavy. It doesn't increase the weight of my pack that much. And I always keep some paracord with me. And this one actually has a little carabiner on the end, so I can loop it around something or throw something over a branch on a tree if I need to, whatever it is. But I would always recommend bringing a little bit of cord with you, some kind of rope. So now we're really getting into the accessories kind of stuff. So I had this a second ago, but it's basically just a stuff sack. So I'm going to do a whole video on this, but I also organize all the stuff in my bag basically through stuff sacks of different degrees and varying sizes and all that kind of stuff. But it's a really good idea to bring a couple of stuff sacks with you. It helps you organize your pack really well. And like I said, I'm going to make a video on this soon, but just bring some stuff sacks with you. That's just a recommendation for you. Next thing you're going to want to bring on your trip is some kind of power bank or charging bank, whatever you want to call them, power brick, external battery pack, whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, just bring some power banks with you. They help charge your phone. They help charge your camera, any other devices that you have that need to be charged. So make sure you bring power banks and all the cables that charge your devices. So don't bring your phone and then forget your phone charger, or your smartwatch and forget your charger for your smartwatch, all that kind of stuff. But make sure you bring these. And I also have a video on using charging your stuff on the trail, so I'll link that for you as well. Next thing you should bring with you is some kind of knife or something like that. Scissors, small pair of scissors to help you just manage stuff on the trail. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have gotten on the trail and then realized that I don't have anything to cut something with. I just really need to be able to cut something easily. I can't. So bring some kind of knife with you. This guy is just a really light razor blade, essentially, like that. And then it's just packable, small, simple, light. But yeah, bring some kind of knife or scissors with you. Something that helps you just cut if you need to. The next one are your sunglasses. So I use Goodr sunglasses. I really enjoy them. But bring some kind of sunglasses or sun protection. That's kind of what we're getting into next, but sunglasses are really great. You will not realize how much you need sunglasses until you get out on the trail and you are way up above the clouds and above the tree line and you are just exposed to the sun all the time. Sunglasses will save your life on this. Next is lip balm. So make sure you bring a lot of lip balm that is SPF rated. So not only does it just soothe your lips, but also protects them from the sun, because another thing that you really do not want to be in a situation of is out on the trail and you don't have any kind of lip balm. It stinks. It really does. For some random items, I'm just going to shotgun them for you. This is all kind of in the realm of personal care, that kind of stuff. So make sure you have some bug spray or whatever, bug protection, whatever you want to call it. This is really important to have. Sunscreen, same thing. You get it. Biodegradable, eco-friendly dish soap, hand soap, soap, whatever stuff. Just wash other things with. I put it in a little bottle that I got from Target. It's a little squeeze bottle, and it's been amazing. So I just use this. It's very concentrated, so you use a tiny bit for a lot of stuff, and I really love this. Next one is personal size toothbrush and toothpaste to go with it, and floss if you want to. Next one is utensils for eating with. So I use this guy. He's basically just a fork and a spoon on different ends. Some people have long handled ones that are better for like jet oils and stuff. Those are actually really nice. But yeah, just some kind of utensil to eat with. And hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is really going to help you out, and it's going to keep you feeling clean and fresh. So hand sanitizer. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. I was really just trying to kind of rocket through that so we didn't take too much time. I have a bunch of videos that have talked about different items that I've talked about here in this video, so I'll link all of those during the video for you and put them in the description down below. Also put a description for a link for the REI checklist. That is a really great place to start, and then you just kind of customize it for yourself after that. And that's going to really help you out. So if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.